Hello, engaged community. Your inner critic is something that tends to follow you around. I always envision my little inner critic sits on my shoulder, like, right here. There it is. And whispers in my ear, "You're not good enough. You're not a good parent. You have no idea what you're doing. You need to stop this insanity. You don't know what your kids need. You don't know what you need," etc. It's all of those kinds of messages. That's what an inner critic does, is they tear us down. And a lot of times we don't even realize how much this is happening. So, looking at all of those messages that we have floating around in our heads every day, the "I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm not brave enough," those are some things we tend to tell ourselves. And when you're in a relationship that's not healthy and potentially toxic, we've talked about these before, where it's not just the marriage has gone south, it's, narcissistic personality or someone that's very abusive to you. The inner critic is just constantly there, talking in your ear. What are you thinking? You're dumb. You should get out of this. Why are you staying? Why don't you know how to do this? Or again, why aren't you brave? Why can't you make this decision? Or why did you go back to this person, right? Those are all the messages that float around in our heads that don't serve us. So dealing with the inner critic is paramount. It's so critical for your own health and happiness, and in turn, of course, for your children. So start thinking about, what are those messages? Jot them down. What are the messages that pop into my head all the time about how terrible I am as a person or as a parent? And then we're going to flip those on their head. We're going to literally flip them upside down. I'm not a terrible person. I am a good parent. I do know how to parent my children. I do know what my children need. I do know what I need, and I'm working on getting my needs met. Flip those messages around, because what you tell yourself is so important to your own mental, emotional, all of that, spiritual well-being. All of that is so important. So the messages that you tell yourself spill out into your parenting, whether you want them to or not. So if you think of it that way, what's happening inside of you impacts your kids. So we don't want that. So this is why we talk about self-care and taking care of yourself every day, all day long, all the time. So let's look at, what is the inner critic telling you? What are those messages that you keep hearing in your brain all the time? Flip them upside down and start telling yourself those positive messages. Put little sticky notes around. Put them up on your mirror in your bathroom or on your nightstand or somewhere, so that you can see and hear these messages and say them out loud. I am a good parent. I am a good mom. I am a good dad. I do know how to take care of my children. Start saying them out loud, because the more you do that, then those positive messages will override and push, literally, that little inner critic right off your shoulder. All right, go out and have a great day, and I will see you again.